Check, 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 check. That's fine for now anyway. Evening guys, welcome to another HOR Season 12. We were not here last week, so nobody missed anything. So Hungary has been removed as of I know of yet, but I think it might be added. If it can be added at some point during the season, it will. But we are now at USA for a short quali and a 50% race of 28 laps. I think something was said about the weather, just to make it a bit fairer for everyone. I don't think they'll get the sun gleaming at them going into the last corner. Probably there, that's right anyway. Going on the table anyway, now Jensen's back as a main driver. He's in second place with 268. He's only 18 behind MedTC, who's on 286. They've both been on the podium literally for, well, most of the races this season. Jensen's been on it the last 3 weeks. Second, first, and Med's been on it the last 2 weeks in the second and third. So he's doing everything he can to stay above him. He just needs to try and get more points than him. For a couple of races, it'll make it a bit easier, seeing as there is 2, 4, 6, 7 races left and 2 sprints, so including tonight's race is 8. Evening, Charlie. Charlie racing? Yeah, Charlie's back. I swear Charlie got third last week. Well, the week before. It could have been the race before that, actually. Where is... There's too many names on this leaderboard. We'll go through it anyway, or most of the people who's here. We're going with 16 at the moment. Someone else might join, but we'll find out. So MedTC's first on 286. Jensen's just behind him on 268. David Enchu's still, he's doing all right. He's in third, actually. He's on 204. He's got 64 points behind the front two, but he's got a nice 26 point gap to Smalley in fifth. He's only finished one of the last 4 or 5 races, actually. He got a podium out in France, but he wasn't here for 3 of them and retired in the one before that. So he's going to be looking to get some form. Jantix is 6th. That's still decent from him. Zero's in 7th on 146. Jantix was on 147 and Smalley's on 148. So it is very, very close there between those guys. Rob Wills is in 8th on 124, but I don't think he's here tonight. No, he's not on the list, so he's going to lose a few points. Keke is back. Okay, that's good. Keke was second, I believe, at one point, possibly first. Hasn't been here for 2, 4, 6 weeks, so definitely be interesting to see where they're going to get. Especially pushing Jensen. I've seen Tom's here as well. Tom definitely pushes Jensen when he races with him. So those 3 will definitely be very close, I would think, to each other. There are a lot of other people. Macho will probably be up there as well. Mr. Rage has had brilliant pace this season. Pelly won. I think he won here actually on Monday. So he'll be an interesting one to watch. Someone's out the pit before Jensen, that's interesting. Zero is. Pelly's actually 10th in the leaderboard. He's only 1 point behind Keke, who's in 8th. They're on 118 and 117, so if they finish, they'll probably go above Rob today, but they're 30-odd points behind Zero. Macho's on 91, so is Nick. Chris is in 16th on 66 as well, so... In the war, finished second last week. Not here this week, that's a shame, but MedTC's also there. I missed him. David Enchu's here as well. So it'll be I think it would be pretty close actually. Top 7, top 8 here could be pretty close, as well as Charlie. I mean, he had decent pace last time out, so could be very close around here. Zero will be the first one on the lap. I will just do an audio check quickly. Yeah, that's fine. We can take us on to the first flying lap of this evening anyway. Turn that down, check comments, and Charlie, that's fine. A few cars a bit close to each other. He took a very wide line there actually to turn 1. That's probably the right thing to do. Car coming out the pit, they got pit assist off, so it's not going to be too bad to get out of the way. Turn 1 didn't look too bad. I think he just turned in slightly a bit wrong. Takes a lot of the curbs through this first sector. Did look pretty decent. Takes a wider line to start with through that section as well. I did miss the first sector. We'll catch him on his second as he takes the hairpin. About roughly 41 seconds before the hairpin. We'll try and keep up for that. See what some of these guys are running downforce wise, see how long it takes them to get out of there and up to the end here. You can cut quite a lot of that left hand curve. It's a decent one. 102.9 from Zero so far. Kept it pretty tight there on the right as well. Takes a pretty nice line through there as well, trying to keep it as close to the curb as possible without losing too much speed. Last corner looked pretty decent as well, so 133.5 from Zero. Find someone on nearer to the end of their lap. Jensen's on a 102.5, so he was 4 tenths up. He's just on a 132.9, 6 tenths quicker than Zero's lap so far. Keke was on a invalidation. Chubby Slugs put up a 134.0 as well. Nick's coming to the end of his lap, but he's on an invalidated lap as well. So is Chris, so is Zenith Josh, so is Tom. Med TC's on an invalidated lap as well. We'll catch David Enshu going through sector 2. I think Jensen's was a 102.5. Took a lot more curb than those other guys there. I think it's a decent line. He's only he's only a 1/10.5 off actually, Jensen's first 2 sectors. If he can just nail this last sector, he'll be right up there. Probably might get into the 132s here. Mr. Rage has done a 133.3. That's a very good lap from him. Pelly there's done a 133.4. So he has carried over his speed from this week already. Looking at that. David Enshu's on the 133.3 as well. He's gone second for now. Chris Stats is on a valid lap even. Extremist did a 135.3 there. Charlie's done a 143.6. There must have been a issue during his lap. Chris Stats a 103.8, so he's a bit far off of the other guys, but he might be doing a few laps here. Probably going to be on a 134, 134.8, well 134.9 basically. That's a decentish lap from Chris Stapps there. Nick's gone round in the last set. Macho's just started a lap, so we'll see if he can get a lap in here. I think he invalidated his last one, so I'm not sure if that's actually... No, Josh is going into the pit, so we'll stick on with Macho. At the moment though, I think pretty much first runs Jensen there, 4 tenths quicker than anyone else in the 132s as well. He'll be pretty happy with that lap. Nick's done a 2:20. I'm sure he will improve on that. Not sure if some of these were on another lap. Charlie's on an invalidated lap. Macho second sector though, 102.499. That's going to put him on pole if he can continue it into this last sector, because that's slightly quicker than Jensen was. So he could be the second driver here to get into the 132s. Last couple of corners did look very clean. Managed to hold on to it there off the curb, which was quite nice as well. And again there, Carl was struggling, but that's a 132.7. He found a lot of time in that last sector. Gone 2/10 in front at the moment. Kristaps is not on a lap. Nick might be, he's 9 seconds up. 25 seconds up through sector 2. And he's going round again, so Nick's struggling with a bit of traction there for now. We'll see how Tom's getting on. He's just about to start a lap here. I think Tom would be pushing these front guys as well. He will definitely be able to get into a 132, I believe, here. Take a lot of curb there. It looked like he slightly went over, but probably didn't. I think he got away with that one though. Got to the hairpin basically at 40. Yes, to be a very fast time. Depending on how his setups, what his setups for, some do like a bit of a lower wing here. Looking about a 102.5 here if he's anywhere near that. 102.1, so he's near a 102.2, so he's definitely going to push Macho at the top there. It will be faster than Jensen. He's on an outlap as well already. We'll see how Tom gets on in the last couple of corners though. I think Med TC might be behind him on the lap as well. Second last corner looked pretty decent. So did the last one. Didn't want to take too much curb. It's going to be a 102.4. Another 3/10 found there. Very, very good lap there from Tom. Zero's up by a 10th. Going through one of the Ferraris is either just about to finish lap. Keke's just done a 133.4, put himself 7th at the moment. Charlie's going to box. Is Chris on a lap? Chris is on a lap. He's going through just straight here. Teammate in front of him is on an out lap, so he's just got out of the way. I think Zero was just about to come to the end of his lap. In fact, he did. He did a 133.3 there. He's gone into 5th. Just behind his teammate, actually. It's very close between, well, 4th and 8th at the moment, a half a 10th. So, still 8 minutes to go. I think these times will come down a bit. But it all looks very, very close in the middle pack at the moment. Oh, Chris is going to box. Careful of the line there. See how Josh is getting on. I think he invalidated his first lap. You see Jensen started a lap as well, so we'll flip to him after. I think there might be a few others who are coming to the end of their lap. Just as a 134.6, puts himself 10th at the moment, which isn't too bad. Pelly's on an invalidated lap, so he isn't. I think that's Tommy's going to box. Tom's boxed. Jensen's up by a 10th and a half through sector 1. Macho or Kristaps in front of him are on an outlap. He's 2.5 tenths up through sectors 2. He still needs to find about 3 tenths through this last sector. McLaren did get out of the way in the end, which was decent again. Very tight there from Jensen, using most of the curves through there. It was nice. Looked a little bit wide, but it managed to flow some of the speed through that corner. It looked quite decent in the end, but he's going to put it second. He's 2 tenths behind. It's a 1:32.6. I think he will have enough time to come back in and try and redo that. Pelly's gone off track there. Extremist is up by 8.5 tenths actually, so that probably, or it put him in front of Kristaps. It put him near Josh here, I think. In fact, it puts him in front of him by 4 tenths. He's gone 10th at the moment. So it's a good little battle with for some of these guys on a Monday for that 10th spot at the moment. Chris hasn't put in a lap, neither's Med TC. Nick's got to improve his lap, so is Charlie. So it'll be interesting to see where some of these guys can get. Said Pelly was up by 3.5 tenths. That would be pretty decent for him. It would put him 4. It'll be a 1:32 from Pelly. 1:32.9. He has put him 4th at the moment. 2 tenths off Macho, which is pretty decent from him actually. He's in front of David Enshu at the moment. Macho's up by 1.5 tenths as well, so he needs to find about 3 to try and push Tom here. See if he can find much for. He's found 2 tenths at the moment. Just, oh, he almost went sideways. A good catch in the end there. I think he probably lost a bit of his time there. He probably would have enough time to box if he wants to. He might want to finish this though, depending on how much time he did lose going through that corner there. He's invalidated this lap, so he will box and we'll have one more chance to try and get a lap in there. We'll stick with Chris there. It says he's on a probably on an inner. We'll go with Charlie then. Charlie's on a hot lap here, coming in sector 3. Needs to find at least probably about 10 seconds, I would say. That had only put him 9th though, so I don't know how much time he lost and where it was. Hopefully, if he could. Ooh. Yeah, he's decided to box. He'll have one more chance to do that as well. So, Zayro on a lap. He's just invalidated actually. I think it was his in lap as well. Chris be on a lap? Yes, he would. 1:02.5 through sector 2. So he's on par around Macho's time was. Hopefully he can get his car. He's done pretty well in quali actually, getting in top 5 most weeks. So Charlie doesn't like this track. Your time doesn't look like it does. Now you'll be alright. It's just it's not an easy track to be fair. It's quite demanding. 1:32.7 from Chris. It puts himself 4th. So yeah, he did get in front of Pelly. He's only half a tenth off Macho there, which is pretty decent from him. Zayro is on a lap here through sector 1. He's half a tenth up. Evening Jim. How have you been? I haven't seen you on here for a while actually. It'd be nice to get your son back on here. Teach some of these older guys a lesson like Jensen and Tom here. KK's on an invalidated lap. Mattman's gone round. Josh, I don't know if he's just started a lap. I'm not sure if Med's in the pit, so Nick's just starting a lap as well. Mattman's on a lap. He's not improved though for the first sector. And I think he's way off through the second as well. I think something's happened there. Oh no, he went round, didn't he? Can we go back to Spa? We will try and find someone who is on a lap. Nick stopped on track. Ferrari round. Chubby wasn't on a lap. Zayro's on an invalidated lap. Some of these guys might not get another chance to go out and come back in. I think Chris is going to start a lap. No, he's going to box. Chris, I think that's Chris done on quali then. Some of these guys won't be getting another chance to do this. Some are probably saving fuel. I think Macho might be going for another run, possibly. He's trying to burn a bit of fuel before he starts his hot lap. It's David Enchu in front of him, I think, as well. They'll both be wanting to try and improve. David Enchu probably wants to find at least 4/10 to get into that 132, but if he wants to move up places, he needs to find at least 6 or 7. Yeah, that's not too bad, 4th. Hopefully the track doesn't improve too much over the next 2 minutes. You should be okay. Your quali pace has been pretty good this season anyway, so you've got a nice little buffer back to 6th as well, so you should be fine. Actually, David Enchu's the first one who's going to go through. No, he's just started his lap. Is that Zero? Zero needs to find exactly the same time. Yeah, cross-platform will be pretty good. I don't know if they're doing it for next season or if they're going to try and trial it at some point. But it will be pretty decent. Zero found some time there, but I did miss it. Chubby Slug's not going to improve. He's finished as well, and I think those extremists he's just crashed. Charlie will not improve either. These guys might slip down a little bit. Zero will find time here though. He might be in a 132 as well. Just outside. A 133.4. He didn't actually find any time at all. David Enchu's on an invalidated lap, so he's not going to improve. Macho's having issues into the last corner. Jensen, it wasn't improving through the first 2 sectors, so he's going to stay. He improved just in that last one, but he hasn't moved above Tom. Tom's going through the hairpin. David Enchu is not on a lap. Kristaps is behind there as well. MedTC hasn't even put up a time yet, and Nick's just behind him, so we'll stick with Med. Yeah, cross-platform would be pretty good. PC leagues, I don't really know, but I do know that it's nice to have a group of people like we do in HOR and across all the leagues that get on with each other, and it's a pretty decent environment as well. ATC is going to be in a 133 here, I think. It's 133.1. He's only gone 6th. Pelly's in front of him by 2/10. That's a very good lap from Pelly there in the end. Nick did a 139.9, so he's not really moved up. Charlie's just moved to the back there. Kristaps is going to box, even though he was up slightly, but he would have only moved up 1 position anyway. So Matman got 11th in the end, which is pretty decent. I mean, the guys in the top 10 they are all HOR, so it's not too bad from Chubby there. As long as he can keep it on track and not get too many penalties, he should have a decent race, but it's asking a lot from Matt. Bless him. He will get it all together at some point though. So results though. First, Tom quali. Tom on pole. Jensen will be 2nd. Macho 3rd. Chris, that's a decent lap from Chris there in 4th. Pelly's 5th. He won around here on Monday, so it'll be decent to see where he can get. MedTC's in 6th. David Enchu 7th. Zero is 8th. Mr. Rage 9th. Keke's 10th. Chubby Slug 11th. Extremist is 12th. Kristaps 13th. Josh is 14th. Nick is 15th. And Charlie will start at the back in 16th. Kind of 3.5 tenths between the top 4. You've got another little buffer, but from 7th down to 10th, 4 cars split by 0.5 tenth, which is pretty decent. It should be pretty close. Jensen might have to sweat this one out if he wants to. I mean, he's in a good place over Med because he's in front of him already. Med obviously needs the points to try and stay in front of Jensen. They're only 18 gap, so anywhere in front would be best, but as high as Med can get probably would be decent as well. But with Tom and Tom's pace that he's just showed in quali, it would be hard for Jensen to get get the win here, but I feel he will be on the podium. I think a few of these actually have a chance to be on the podium today. Looks pretty sunny as well, so we're not. I don't think we'll get any rain unless it's nearer to the end, but hopefully it will be dry for these guys. Make for a decent race. Charlie's going to do a absolute mental dash for a podium from 16th. But with good effort, you'll get driver of the day from the game. Anything can happen though here. I mean, safety cars, not many that can really come out here. Maybe the last corner if a car goes into the left wall, but there's not too many places where I think a safety car will be brought out. So it'd be interesting strategy, see if someone's flicked on the soft to start with. I think a couple did it on Monday, which was surprising, but I think it worked for one of them in the end. I know Adam would definitely be starting on softs here, or he'd probably take his hards to the end for some reason. I'm not sure if we've got a formation lap either, so no, we don't. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're away. And it looked like both of the cars at the front got a pretty decent start between them. Macho got a better one than Jensen though, but Jensen's going to have the inside line covered off. There's now for Tauri trying to get up the side as well. 3-4 wide going through turn 1 was pretty decent though. Macho got in front of Jensen there. Tom still leads. Rage is disqualified for parking in a dangerous location, so I don't know if Rage got... Oh, I think Pelly and Chris were going side by side there. I think just kind of got out of the way. It was pretty decent driving from both of them in the end, actually. We'll go to movement places. I know Mr. Rage is out, so he maybe not have moved off the line. Everyone's starting on hards. Mr. Rage might not have been there actually because his game would have chosen the medium to hard compound. We'll go further up just to make sure no one's overtaking it for the lead. We've got Med TC coming up the inside of Keke there. Those two are going to continue that actually, going into the last sector. I'll get rid of that. We'll go to position change soon. They're going to continue it going through to the left-hander here as well. Keke's just gone in behind, probably just trying to get a bit of a better run out, but couldn't get the pull out. Mattman's gone up one place as well. That Med TC's gone round. Don't think his hard tyres like that corner. I know mine didn't on Monday. I did not like that right-hander. I had to kind of let off. Zero's got in front of Mattman there as well. It was all over the back of him as well. In fact, Mattman's going to charge past him. Zero got a bad exit, but he looks like he's got a lot more straight line speed. He's just going straight. He might even try. He'll have to go around the outside. Mattman's going to go up the inside. In fact, he's going to switch back. They will continue this going into this first sector. Pelly's pretty close to Chris as well. He's all over the back of him going through the S's here. In fact, he's further away than I thought. He's done pretty well though. I think he's only lost. No, yeah, he's lost out on one place here. Where's so everyone was on hards. Where is position change? There you go. Macho moved up one in front of Jensen. He had a poor start. He's lost a little bit of time and he's used quite a bit of battery. The two guys in front aren't using theirs much. Macho probably will sit in just behind Tom for a few laps anyway to save what he used getting there. David Edchew's up free. Usually has pretty good starts as well. He got in front of Chris and Pelly there. He's going to sit on the back of these. Hopefully he can catch up with DRS. 1.2 seconds isn't too bad, but if you fall out of DRS here, it can drag you back. Obviously Chris is right behind him as well. Charlie has got past Kristaps and Charlie going side by side through this last sector. Charlie's going to go up the inside going into the left-hander as well. Are they going to continue it going around? Yes, they are, going around this right-hander. I think Kristap's almost lost it there. They're going to carry it on through the entire of this last sector as well, which is decent. Going into the last corner as well is Charlie. No, Charlie's just had to back out of that one, but you can see the extremist is caught right up behind them as well. DRS is enabled. David Enshu isn't within DRS. He's going to come under fire from Chris this lap, I think. Going up that straight as well. Keke almost sticking with Pelly. If Pelly can just find a temp from somewhere, in fact he's losing a bit of time going through the S's, he might have a lot less wing than Keke here. Keke seems to find a lot more time on Pelly going through these S's. Mattman's not doing too bad. He has moved up 3 places as well. Zero's just behind him, but he's got a nice little buffer back to Nick. He's moved up 5, but he's in 10th. Kristaps has moved up 2. He's behind Nick. The extremist will not have DRS. He will go to this battle at the front because Macho might make a move for the lead here. He's going to have to go up around the outside. Tommy's going to stick it up the inside, leaving each other enough room there. This will help Jensen kind of come back to these guys as well. David Enshu might even be able to catch up to the back of these if they carry on as well. Looked pretty decent though there from Tom. He did a lot of very good defending there. Oh, and Macho's just lost it. You just saw him as I went on with Jensen. His front end kind of went left, right, and then left and just fired off. Did not like following that car. I think he's still going, but he's back in 9th near his teammate there. Jensen still got DRS. These two could pull away from David Enshu now. That hasn't helped him at all. Not having DRS, I mean, if Jensen's going to push with Tom, then he might be able to. Chris will be liking this though, with the gap behind Tapelli increasing a couple of tenths every lap. Keke didn't get past either. Still back to about 9 tenths before the lap started, so, and then creeps it back to about 6 here. Chubby Slug, first person with the penalty. He's up 4 places in 7th. He's got a lot of pressure from Zero actually behind him, and now he's got Macho as well, which won't help. But back to, oh, he's almost lost it there. It was a good save from Chubby in the end. Someone's gone round. That's one of the Ferraris. That is Josh. Does have his wing though, so that'll be pretty decent. Chris is going to fire past David Enshu here for 3rd place. And Zero's got past Chubby Slug there for 7th. Chris just kind of blocks that off so David Enshu can't get back at him there. Decent bit of driving from those two as well. Pelly's still doing alright. He's just falling off the back of these, but if they keep pressuring themselves like that, then he will catch up. Zero's kind of... Zero must have had an issue, I think, because I think he was up. Oh no, he got past Chubby Slug. I thought he was up near Pelly, but he wasn't. No, he's just got past Chubby Slug, who's still in DRS. So is Macho now. He's got Macho right behind him. Yellow flag is at Josh again. Josh has gone around again. These two at the front aren't pulling away from Chris as much though, but David Enshu is sticking with him. Pelly is starting to slightly catch up as well. Keke's sticking within that DRS. There's a yellow flag, that is Josh again. Don't know if he'll box for for hards. I know he was on hards. He got a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane though, and he's retired. So that is Josh's night done. Didn't seem to like the track. Keke's up 4, David Enshu's up 3. They're our biggest gainers apart from Charlie, who's moved up 5 at the moment. He's just in behind Kristaps. 3.5 seconds now Kristaps has moved away from Macho. So it's good. Oh, Chubby Slug and Zero going side by side there. Macho just in behind them. Zero, I think, just left enough space, but it looked a bit tight there from Matman. Macho's made a good move there on Zero. In fact, he gave him the inside line pretty much because he was following Matman through. Matman now has to deal with Macho, even though Zero looks like he's going to be harder to stick with her. I think Macho could do this now. He had a pretty bad exit there, did Chubby, so... Zero. Macho threw on Chubby, then back up into 7th. See how quickly he can get up. Charlie made it past Kristaps there. It looked like it was from the Zero got a 3-second time penalty. He's now joined Chubby Slug on 3 seconds. Yeah, Charlie got past Kristaps there. He's moved up into 10th place at the moment. 2 guys at the front. They aren't pulling away from Chris exactly. Chris has pulled away from David Enshu, though. David does not have DRS now. Pelly is, yeah, he's kept that gap at about 1.4 to David Enshu here. He does have Keke sticking with him pretty much, and Macho now is catching them at a rate of probably about a second a lap. He's caught up 0.8 in the first 2 sectors, so he's half a second up on his best lap time as well. I don't think anyone will be able to make any moves. The field isn't as spread as I thought it would be, actually. Chris has just lost 0.3 in that last sector to the front guy, so as long as he can keep David Enshu out of his DRS, I think he'll be alright. Tom's just on a 1:37.5 at the moment, fastest lap. Almost pulled out of Jensen's DRS. It went up to 9.5 Macho's just done a 1:36.7, so yeah, Macho is flying at the moment. In that last sector, he took out another 3-4 tenths out of these guys in front, so we'll all go to the front though. We'll see how Tom and Extremists just picked up a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. Make sure no one's boxed yet. I don't think anyone boxed. No, everyone's still on their 6-lap old hard. Penalties at the moment, only Chubby, Zero and Extremist still with 3 seconds. Jensen only just still, he might, no, he will have it. Because the line's before the hairpin, I believe, for it, but he definitely might be struggling, actually. He's losing a lot of speed in a straight line. He's got no ERS at all. Tom's on 63%, Jensen's on 3, Chris is on 11. David Enshu's doing alright, actually. He's saved a bit. He's on 46. Pelly's down. Keke's right behind on 40 as well. So Tom's doing very, very well in saving his ERS here. Close to 70%. Just pulled away from Jensen as well there. It'd be interesting to see when some of these guys pit. Another probably 8 laps, maybe 7. Depends. So Jensen's fallen off Tom anyway to a 1.7 gap. Chris is behind by 2.8, but he has got 2.3 second gap back to David Enshu, who seems to have has lost a bit of time actually. In fact, he's come under a lot of pressure from Pelly here. Pelly's caught right up. David Enshu might have a problem here. We'll try and check his... He looks like he's got all his wing and everything, so I don't know if he's just... Maybe he had a tyre issue or something, but Pelly's definitely caught up. I mean, he was 1.4 behind and he's now 2/10, so he'll be overtaking through here. So will Keke. Macho has caught right up to these. He's within DRS as well. David Enshu could come under a bit of fire here. The straight line speed looks pretty decent though. Pelly's struggling to get past here. And he's not even using the ERS, so David Enshu seems to have a bit less swing than Pelly here, definitely. He wasn't using his ERS and he was pulling away from him when he had DRS. Macho will have to try and get past as soon as he can if he wants to try and push towards the front guys. They're only 2.6 seconds off of Chris. But the guys in front are already, well, I mean, Tom's moved another half a second in front of Jensen there. Chubby Slug's still doing alright. He's back in 8th, but he's 3.6 behind. Zero's still behind him. MedTC's back in 10th. No movement for any of these 4 guys. They're on this little train at the moment. I don't know if it'll help Mataman. I mean, he's just gained 2/10 there into the last corner, so maybe he might catch these guys up. There's a yellow flag. Someone's off there. Well, that's one of the Hasses. Is that Jensen? Jensen's had an issue. Jensen's going round. Chris has got past, actually. Let's help Chris. Chris is up into 2nd. That's decent from him. David Enchu is up the inside of Jensen, which is not going to help Pelly here at all. Pelly would probably have got past David Enchu this lap. And even Jensen's pulling away from him without DRS, and he's not using the RS either, so Pelly's got very, very high wins here, it looks. But mistake from Jensen moves him down to 4th. I don't know if he'll want to, what he can do really from here. He's going to have to try and push past David Enchu, who seems to be kind of holding a few people up, but his straight line speed is a lot better than Pelly's, Keke's and Macho's. Just sitting behind these guys now, behind all 4 of the others. Probably thinking where he can make any move, if a move at all. In fact, he's going to make a move here on Keke. He's going to go up the inside. Keke slightly went wide there. I think Keke's going to have the drag coming out the corner, though he is, so that's going to keep him in front. Jensen's not going to be able to make any moves as well. Macho is going to come up the inside. Oh, and I think Pelly had an issue there. Pelly had an issue coming out the last corner, so that dropped Keke down a place, and Macho's got past both of them. Great move there from Macho in the end. I think Pelly just lost a bit of traction there coming out the first corner. That's pulled Jensen away though. Jensen's still behind David Enchu here. I think he'll be able to get past with DRS. Macho's still got it, so he'll be making moves as well. Chris is still doing alright actually. He is 6 seconds behind Tom, but Tom is flying. Tom just got his head down when he was in first, and Charlie either went round there or he's just going slow. Jensen tried to go up the inside of David Enchu there into the hairpin, but he definitely missed his braking point. Now he's going to have to sit behind. He did give the place back though. He didn't try and aggressively. Oh, someone went round there. Who's going round? Is that Chris? No, Chris is going round. I missed that from 2nd. He must have been going round when Jensen was flying off straight. So Chris is going round. Hopefully his tyres will not give him any issues. David Enchu is now in 2nd, 10 seconds behind Tom. He's got a massive train behind him. Hopefully Chris can catch on to the back of this train. In fact, Chris is going to box. Chris is going to get off his hards. Maybe flick mediums on now to the end of the race. Chris probably will come out 13th. He'll definitely come out in front of Charlie. Past Chris. Chubby Slug's up into 7th. He's having a great race at the moment. He's still got Zero behind him as well. Brilliant effort from Chubby at the moment. He probably could have used Zero to drag him nearer to the others though. He is only 3.6 behind. But if these guys in front do keep battling, especially David Enchu with his slight issue, I think he must have a slight issue, but his straight line speed looks phenomenal. Jensen's a lot closer to him this time. There's a yellow flag. That'll be Chris, I believe. That's not coming out the pits, was it? Might have been coming out the pits. Chris has had an issue. Keke got past Pelly there, so Pelly's moved down the place as well. He's going to sit at the back of this 5-car train for 2nd place. Chris just picked up a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings as well. First penalty for Chris. Tom's probably in a great mood right now. I mean, he's got an 11-second gap out front. He's managed to keep his car on the road as well, and it's kind of just brought it to him really. I mean, 11 laps in, 12 laps in now. on the 12th lap, and he's got a 12-second lead almost. So there's a yellow. There's another yellow flag. Is that? No one made a move for the second place there. Chubby Slug is slightly closing in on these guys by a tenth. I do think he could use Zero. I mean, David Enshu hasn't got that much speed in second there, but he's got a hell of a lot of straight line speed. So these guys are struggling to get past, and they can't do anything through the windy sections. So they got a 4.1 second gap back to MedTC, who has had just slightly few issues. He is catching up slightly. But yeah, at the moment, Chubby's doing a pretty decent job there. Pelly's just hanging on to the back of these guys as well. I don't know if any of them are going to be able to make a move here. David Enshu is more or less out of DRS. So is Jensen, who is DRS as well, but still can't get past. Macho's sitting behind. He's got no ERS either. Zero has got past Chubby here. 4 seconds. Yeah, the gap did kind of lose another 6/10 there, but hopefully Chubby can stick with Zero here and he can be dragged up to these guys. Especially if Jensen makes another slip on his brakes like he did last time. I mean, that's a couple of seconds to the guys behind, so it would definitely help. Chubby Slug's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear. Even if he gets dragged up there, I think he'll be alright. He's got a nice enough gap back to Kristaps. He's got no penalties though at the moment. Jensen just cannot get past David Enshu. 15 laps left. One of these might flick in a box at some point. Oh, David Enshu, you can definitely see he's got a lot less swing than these guys, because this first sector's a slight little struggle for him, especially this top of this hill. And you can see in sector 3 into the end of sector 2 at the beginning of sector 3, just can't kind of hold his car there. But down here, he's got ERS. Jensen's a lot closer this time actually. He's only got 5% ERS. David Enshu is now burning his as well. Jensen's going to have to go the long way round, but you can see the straight line speed isn't great, and I think David Enshu might just cut that off. Jensen's going to brilliant effort if he can. David Enshu just gave him a little slight tap there to say move over a little bit, but still going side by side. Jensen will have the inside to this corner. David Enshu might have to try and cut back in, but you can see Macho's just going to try and cut back in as well. David Enshu is going to keep this fight going. Jensen just had a bit more traction going around the outside. He had a bit more speed. Macho is now possibly going to make a move up the inside of David Enshu. Yes, he is. David Enshu's straight line speed might be alright on this. They will have DRS off Jensen. Jensen's going to try and pull away, but MedTC's picked up a 3-second time penalty with multiple warnings. Keke's still on the back of this, so is Pelly. Macho and David Enshu just went side by side, but David Enshu's now had to kind of slot him behind. Keke's the next person behind, and David Enshu's struggling through sector 1. Keke's going to make a brilliant move at the end there, going around the outside. That was absolutely brilliant. David Enshu was struggling through those first 2 S's, and Keke just thought, yeah, do you know what, I'm going to go around the outside into the last one. That was a brilliant move. Should still have DRS, 9/10, so keep within DRS. Jensen's kind of broken away almost from a couple of these guys. Keke doesn't have DRS, so David Enshu probably will be able to close a bit of that gap. Pelly's just behind him. He's going to try and get past at some point if he can. He's still doing a pretty decent job there though in 6th place. He's just sitting behind these guys. Keke does need to get within that DRS zone though. Nick's just picked up a 3-second time penalty, a bit further back. Extremist is a second off of Nick, down in 11th. Chris has boxed. Chris has boxed and so has Charlie. Charlie's on side. I don't think Charlie's there actually. Charlie put up the fastest lap, but I don't think he's in his car because his car's ghosted, so unless that's just because he's got blue flags, I'm not sure. Really not sure. Chris has stopped though. Chris is just behind his teammate at the moment, but he has stopped. So there's a few places here that Chris can move back up. He does have that time penalty. 6. Yeah, he's only got 3 seconds. There's a lot of, with 6. Zero and 7th's got 6. So's Chubby Slug. He's actually done a pretty decent job to stick with Zero. And they did take a 1.5 seconds out of Pelly in front, so... And they took a hell of a lot of time out of Med, actually. Med was within about 4 or 5 seconds of him. He's now back in 7.5, so... Chubby just needs to keep his head down and... Might be able to pull up to Pelly. I mean... Even from Jensen, the train starts at Jensen here. They're all within DRS. David Enshu might have lost it, actually. No, David Enshu's still got it. Pelly's got it. Zero's going to be joining these, I would think, within another 3 or 4 laps. But I think pit stops will come around here as well, so... Kristaps is in a bit of a lonely race. He's 5 seconds behind Med TC. He's got 11.5 back to Nick, but he hasn't got a penalty. Anything can change near the end. I mean, if Zero or Chubby get another 3, then he's well within, well, he's almost within their time penalty. So, which one of these is going to box first? There's someone did go in the box. Is that Macho? Pelly's going in the box as well, so he's going to go for an undercut. So I think that was it was Keke. Keke went in the pits. Put mediums on, 12 laps left. I don't know, some of these might go to softs, but I doubt it. Tom's pretty much got free range of what he wants to do because he's got a 14-second lead. There is a yellow flag. Is that Nick? And where are these guys going to come out? Kristaps has boxed as well, so Keke and Pelly have come out in 8th. They've got a 3-second gap, at least 3.5 in front of them. Which is pretty good. They've got some clean air to drive into. Pelly didn't actually lose too much time off the back of Keke there. Chris is a little bit further behind him, but he has got past his teammate now. Metro might have a run on Jensen here. I think he will, actually. He's going to have to go around the outside. Jensen won't make it easy for him at all. Jensen gave him just enough room, but he seemed to have a pretty decent pull out of that corner, did Macho. And Macho did not have a decent pull out of that. He almost went round. Maybe time for him to box. I don't know how his tyres are, but you don't want to be doing that too many times. He's done pretty well on his tyres anyway, because it snapped on him, I think, lap 3 or 4. It almost snapped on him again there. Jensen's going to box, and so is Macho. So is David Enshu. So they're going to try and cover these guys. Zero will find himself in 2nd for the moment. I think Med TC might just come out in front of these guys as well. Remember, Keke and Pelly boxed a lap before, so the tyres aren't going to be brilliant near the air. There's a yellow flag. There's a yellow flag 1, 2, and 3. Is that a safety car? I'm not sure, because I see 3 cars coming out of the pit, which won't make it easy for them guys to know where they are. David Enshu, I think, might have to let both of them back through, or just Keke, Pelly. I'm not really. I think coming out of the pits, it was. I don't know. I don't think there's a safety car though, because I can't see the yellow dot. It kind of helps Chris here. I know he's in 9th, but it's pulled him up a bit back to the front guys. What's going on here? They're going to try and stick as close to each other as they can. So Tom hasn't boxed yet. Has Tom had... Oh no, Tom has boxed, sorry. He's on mediums. Drive-through penalty for Charlie. He's got no wing. At least he can get off his softs now. So Tom's boxed. Tom's first. Zero and Med TC haven't boxed. They probably missed it under the from where they were on track, but Jensen has boxed as well. You can see everyone now has boxed. Chris is on 6 lap old mediums. He's not too far off these guys now. slight little mistake from one of these. 2 more do have to box, so I think they'll... One's just... No, they haven't boxed. They're still going around, so they might go to softs now. Macho 3-second time penalty. That's not going to help him. Not back in 5th, it's not. Not when Keke and David Enshu and Pelly are all within this... Pele didn't have a DRS, but he needs to try and keep it. David Enshu should try and keep it as well. They'll try and keep up with Jensen here. I think Tom's got at least a 14-second lead here. That's how I said what I feel every week. Let's try and find it. Leader, yeah, 14 seconds back to Jensen. Oh, it'll be interesting to see where Zero and Med come out though. Obviously Med TC needs to try and finish as high as possible really, but with a pit stop on his time, and Jensen's only a second behind, he's looking to at least come out 11th, which won't be great. He needs to try and defend off Jensen as well. I don't know how. I mean, Jensen's on medium tyres. He's not coming under fire from Macho behind. There is a yellow flag, sector 1. Extremist is round. He's got going again though. Tom's into the last couple of corners already. I mean, Zero and Med have to box. Med's holding up Jensen. He's doing a pretty decent job actually. This could bring Pelly back into it. I mean, Med could be helping his teammate here a bit. Try and get Pelly and David Enshu back into the DRS. Jensen can't send one up the inside. He might be able to get past here though, because Med TC's tyres will be very, very worn. He's going to have to go around the outside. Macho is still up the... not Macho, Zero is still up the inside. In fact, just taps Jensen off track slightly there. And Macho managed to get past both of them. He did it last time, and I think he's done it again. He brakes a lot earlier, gets up the inside of them, and has a better drag coming out the corner before the S's. That was a brilliant overtake there from Macho as well. Med TC is on his hard still. He's slightly struggling, but he has brought... David Enshu is in this gap now as well. Almost sent one there on Med. Pelly's 1.7 behind. Hopefully he can catch back up to these guys as well. Chris has just picked up another time penalty there. David Enshu got past Med TC there. Med TC's tyres are going to be crying, I think. He's got 9 laps, 8 laps after this one. Extremist is out. That is in the pit, so that won't matter. Zero. When is Zero going to box? I think he'll probably put softs on if he... he's got 8 laps. 7:20, so he's going to come out close to behind Chris, I think. It'll be pretty close actually between... Med TC's gone in the pits as well. It'll be pretty close between him and Chris. Chris goes slightly off track there. They are going to be on softs, though. Zero is on softs. Chubby Slug's picked up another time penalty. He's up on 9 seconds now along with Chris. Chris Steps only has 3. Med TC is going to come up behind Chris here by quite a bit. In fact, I think he's going to come out behind Chubby Slug. Yeah, he is. So we... oh, Med's on mediums. Med's chosen the medium compound. Zero came out in front of Chris by 5 seconds. He's on a soft compound. He's going to be wanting to make big moves. He's got 8 laps to do it as well. He's 7 seconds behind Pelly though. If he can catch Pelly, he needs to try... If he can find 10 seconds here, he could try and potentially... No, he can't get a podium because he's got a time penalty of 6 seconds. Macho's 3 seconds probably will hurt him though. It is 3 seconds, isn't it? Yeah, it is. In fact, he's almost gone round. He's lost a lot of traction there. We'll get rid of that. Jensen's close right onto the back of him. They've pulled away from Keke as well, who couldn't stick with their DRS. so that's going to help David Enshu. We know how fast David Enshu's straight line speed is as well, so Keke's just picked up a time penalty as well. That is struggling. Macho is struggling for some traction there. Jensen might even be able to get past here. He's going to have to go a long way around. He's not going to make it easy. Jensen switched to the inside again. Macho's picked up a bit of curb there and he couldn't fully accelerate, so Jensen's fired him through. Macho does have that time penalty. David Enshu is doing very well at the moment. Keke's got that penalty as well, so Pelly, even though he's 3.3 behind, if he can find a bit of time while these guys are overtaking each other and that, he could even be on for podium. David Enshu looks the most likely to be getting third place, but he does need to try and keep with Macho, which isn't an easy task, especially when Macho has DRS on Jensen. And Keke's right behind David Enshu as well, but yellow flag sector 2, that is a Haas. That's not Jensen, is it? No, it's Chubby Slug. Chubby Slug's going round. Lost out on a couple of positions there. David Enshu's just picked up a 3-second time penalty. That helps literally neither of them. In fact, that helps Pelly more if he can catch up. If Jensen and Macho keep battling like they are, though, and David Enshu and Keke do, then Pelly could find himself on a podium here now. He needs to find at least 2 seconds, though, in 6 laps. But these guys are battling, which is decent. I mean, Macho's probably going to send one on Jensen here again, so that's another couple of tenths in there. Tom's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That will not bother him when he's 17 seconds in the lead. Oh, and you saw Macho struggling to come out that first corner, and he just went side by side with Jensen there. This is going to be pretty good with these two going side by side through there. Jensen just cuts in behind, and I think he's just picked up a 3-second time penalty as well. You saw him cross the curb through that S section. He didn't really like it. Mattman has DNF in the pits. Kristaps now moves up into the top 10. Even though he's so far behind, he's still in top 10. It's pretty decent still. It's good practice as well. Jensen with that 3-second time penalty, though. This has changed the whole race. We need to find penalties, I know that. There we go, look, 3 seconds. Macho's got 6 now. That's Macho's picked up his 6 seconds, while Jensen picked up his 3 there. Pelly is getting pulled away from these guys, though. They've made another half second. I don't think he can quite catch up, but still with 6 laps left, one of these guys might make a big mistake here. Obviously, they're fighting for position now, pretty much. I mean, Macho needs to get away as quick as he can. Jensen's got to fend off from David Enshu, who we know has good straight line speed, and obviously Keke's just sitting in behind these guys on a race back as well after 6 weeks. 6-7 weeks, almost lost it there, but kept DRS. Pelly's found 6 tenths at the end of that last sector, so he is being brought back to these guys. I think the DRS hurts him, but if they do battle at the end of it, then it definitely kind of evens it out and gives him a bit more time. Nick's moved up into 10th there. Kristaps is now down in 11th. Chris is in 9th. He's going to box, probably go for fastest lap, put on some soft, see what he can do. MedTC still making moves. He's on his mediums. He boxed a lot later than the other guy, 3 to 4 laps. Zero's on his softs. He hasn't... I don't know if he's been making big moves. He does have a 6-second time penalty, which won't help him when he gets to Pelly, if he gets to Pelly. Nick's got past Chris there because Chris has boxed. I mean, Jensen's in an okay position. He's behind Macho, who's on a 6-second time penalty. Jensen's only got 3. The car behind him's got 3, but while he has DRS, it's going to be very, very, very hard for David Enshu or Keke to try and make a move on him, especially when they're still 8-9 tenths back before DRS hits. Pelly's doing everything he can. He's doing pretty well in 6th anyway. He is losing a bit more time to those guys. Now they haven't been battling, he's lost another 6 tenths. But he's doing, I mean, 6 is brilliant still, especially with Zero and Med TC behind you. It's not far off decent, that. Chubby Slug's just left, so we do have 11. We haven't seen much of Tom, but Tom's just been flying. He kept his head down. Jensen had that issue, and he's been 10 seconds in the lead ever since. He is on a 1:34.7 as well. He's driving a second faster than Macho without DRS. Oh, second faster. It's pretty decent, that, actually. Jensen might have lost DRS, he has, but then so has David Enchu, so... Chris picked up another 3-second time penalty. Kristaps probably will do him, actually. We're very close together. Yeah, Jensen didn't have DRS, sorry, neither did David Enchu. Keke did, maybe... Keke might want to think about making a move in a few laps. Macho's picked up another 3-second time penalty, so he will drop at least 1, 2, 3 places, maybe even 4 to Pelly. Pelly is only 7.5, 8.5 seconds behind. He's got a 9-second penalty. There's 3 laps left at the end of this one. Tom's on his 26th as we speak anyway. But Macho, he did push away from Jensen there, but it has forced another time penalty. I guess at least he now knows he has 3 in the last 3 laps. Jensen might be close to 2 anyway. He only picked up his 3-second time penalty a couple of laps ago. David Enchu could be close as well. But for position, I think Keke, there's Nick's going around. Is that Nick? Yeah, Nick was just going slow. He's just behind Kristaps and Chris now as well. Chris is 30 seconds off Med TC. Med TC is... Zero isn't really making any moves on those soft tyres as well. They haven't really worked from last lap to this lap. I mean, he's not gaining on Pelly at all there. Macho's going to try and pull this time penalty out though. He's got 3 laps to try and do it. He's got a 1.5 seconds to Jensen. They've only got 3 behind him though. 1.5 seconds to Jensen, 2 seconds then to David Enchu, so that's 3, and then only half a second to Keke. So he needs to try and find at least another 5. I don't know if he will off Keke, but he's got DRS off David Enchu. That'll be the place to look at for is probably 4th here, because Keke's doing very well to stick with David Enchu, trying to half save some energy for one last move, I think, or... And still there's Pelly with no penalties. The only person with no penalties, actually, everyone else has at least 3, even Tom and Kristaps have 3, so does Med TC. Pelly's got none at the moment, so pretty good effort from him so far. Jensen's kind of just fallen off Macho a little bit here. But I think he won't mind anyway because the penalty difference. He is pulling away from David Enchu though, who seems to still be slightly struggling through that first sector. You can see Keke comes right back onto him there, 4.5 tenths. As soon as you get to a straight, look, 5 tenths, almost 5. So we'll see down this straight because Keke will have the DRS. Got a bit of ERS as well. Fair bit here. I mean, he's catching very, very slowly catching. I think he'll need to be about 3-4 tenths behind when he starts the straight. David Enchu picked up a bit of curb there. That hasn't helped him. Keke could stay with him through this last sector though. This is where David Enchu slightly struggles with the corners. But he's doing a pretty good job there. He's still back. He's in 4th. There's a yellow flag. That is a Merc. Is that Chris? Yep. Chris is going around on his soft compound. Tom's chilling in the lead anyway with a lap and a half to go. Well, 2 laps to go even. 7.5 second gap to Macho. I think everyone's had an issue though. Macho fired off lap 4, I think it was lap 3 or 4, was following Tom through the last sector, and he just fired left. He managed to get behind his teammate, just in front of his teammate. I think he was back in 9th, so he's done a pretty decent job to get back there. It's just his penalties haven't helped. Jensen had a spin, I believe, through this first sector as well. David Enchu seemed to be doing all right, then just lost a lot of pace somehow. Just seemed to disappear after about 8 laps. Keke's stuck on the back of these guys pretty well. Pelly, like I said, he's done pretty well as well. I wonder if anyone will make a move. Might even bring Pelly back into this. He's found another couple of tenths on these guys, but Keke 3.5 back, couldn't still get past. For 4th as well, it'd be going on to this last lap. It'd be very interesting to see what, or if he can even make half a move here. I think Tom's on his last lap. Tom is on his last lap. We'll go with Tom as he's not going to, I don't think he's going to lap Nick, but pretty dominant drive from Tom here though. Put it on pole by a couple of tenths. Got in front of Jensen off the start, but so did Macho. Jensen just kind of bogged down a little bit, it looked like, but they had better starts, and he kind of just got out in front, pulled the gap. Jensen made a mistake, and it gave him a massive 11-second gap for the lead behind David Enchu. Helped him because David Enchu was holding people up, and it was very good defence from him actually. I know he had a lot of straight line speed. But when Tom pit, he was already a pit stop in front of the next car who hadn't boxed, and Jensen was 14 seconds behind, and he's pulled that now up to 17.5. So I don't think he'll do anything silly in this last sector. We will go to this fight between these two though. There's 5 tenths between them. Keke saved a lot of fuel. David Enchu knows he now has to go very defensive. Keke will probably make a move here. David Enchu is not going to make this easy at all. Keke's very, very wide. He might have to come up and under, but he's going to go around the outside still. They're going to keep it going for this last sector. This is going to be very close between these two. And there was slight contact. I think David Enchu left enough room. It definitely looked like there was enough room on the inside, but I think Keke might have just touched the front end and gone round. That'll help Pelly though. Pelly's going to jump a position for this. I think David Enchu slowed down to let Keke pass, which has allowed Pelly to pretty much sit in behind these guys. Pelly could pick up 3rd here actually. No, I don't think he's close enough to Macho. I think that gap between Keke has now allowed Macho to take 3rd. It has. Pelly took 4th. That was pretty fair from David Enchu. I think David Enchu might have thought that he didn't leave Keke enough room, but on my screen on the inside of the track, it definitely looked like he left enough. But pretty fair driving from him to let Keke back through. But Pelly's gained massively off that. Absolute massively. And it helped Macho get his... definitely helped Macho because they were within that 6-second different gap that they had. But great drive from Tom. 20 seconds in front of Jensen. That's not something you see most weeks, especially with how Jensen's been racing these last couple of weeks as well. Podium on the last 3, but that one mistake though, it obviously cost him, and then he had to do battling things. Kristaps is just finishing, and it dragged him back a bit, but yeah, 4th from Pelly is decent. That bit of luck towards the end, but everyone gets a bit of luck from time to time. Tom is a reserve. That's a very good call, Pelly. In fact, Pelly gets 3rd for that, so he was massively helped though from from Keke and David Enchu there. So Tom will be 1st. It's a pretty good fastest lap from him actually. It is the 2nd faster than Macho's. Tom was first, Jensen will be second, Macho will be third, Pelly fourth, Kike will be fifth, David Enchu sixth, Zero will be sixth, David Enchu sixth, Zero will be seventh, MedTC eighth. The gap between him and Jensen might have shrunk quite a bit now because 25. Oh well, if Tom's a reserve, that might put Jensen first for 30 points and led down in eighth. Chris Atz was ninth, Nick was 10th, Chris Allen was 11th for lap down. Chubby Slug was DNF in 12th. Extremist DNF, Charlie DNF, Zenit Josh DNF, and Ranger didn't actually start the race. He didn't move off the start line. I will send some invites for the podium people. See if anyone will join. I know Jensen will join. Jensen loves talking about his racing. We'll throw Tom in. I think I've spoken to Tom a few times. They've all been sent anyway. Nacho, though, finished in front of Jensen on track, but obviously his 9-second time penalty will finish behind, but it was a great race from those two as well. Evening, Jensen. Tom's here, that's good. And Macho's here. Decent, okay. We'll start with Tom, actually, because it was a pretty decent drive from yourself. Obviously, quali, you put it on pole. It was a good lap from you, actually. Jensen seemed to bog down off the start, but you kind of got your head down. A couple of cars behind you made mistakes. I know Macho, I think it was lap 3, shot off to the side through sector 3, and Jensen had a spin as well, but nothing seemed to phase you. You did get that time penalty, but it didn't really bother you when you were 14, 15 seconds up the road. But, I mean, how did it feel for you? It was a brilliant drive.
You know, well, obviously I had good pace anyway, but it's like Macho, I don't even know what happened to him. He just sort of disappeared out of my mirror.
His car went left, right, and then shot left and just went off track.
And then Jensen binned it as well. Obviously, it would have been nice to have like a race, but
someone to see.
You know. Yeah, like I'll take it. I'll take the win, but it could have been more exciting.
It definitely was behind, because obviously when Macho and Jensen had their issues, David Enchu was holding them up. They couldn't get past him on the straight, but there was a train of about 6-7 cars. But I mean, unfaulted really today from yourself. You didn't have an issue, so you won by 20 seconds in the end, and it's not very easy to do in HOR. So congratulations on first.
Thank you. Yeah, there's not much to say about it, really.
No, it's just a good drive, and you just did what you needed to do. Jensen, second place in the end. Third on track, yes. Though. Happy with your... I mean, I know you won't be happy that you spun, but are you happy that you got back to where you were, especially being stuck behind David Enchu for so many laps before the pit?
I mean, like, I think the most I could have only got one more point in that race for no penalties. Because of course because Tom was a reserve, get voted first place points. So that I'm kind of happy about, but like, yeah, it was a bit annoying. I dropped out of Tom's DRS, he was absolutely flying, and then I had my spin. I was losing the car through there like a couple of laps before as well. And yeah, I was put in the battle with Macho, Davidenko and all that, and it kind of lasted like that until...
Yeah, I noticed you had DRS and ERS on with David Enchu down that straight, and you still couldn't get past. It was like he was running a bit lower wings today than you guys. But through the last section, the first section,
the track, he made a very, like, he got the DRS, but he also made like a big move and just braked on the exit. When I got past him, I just repaid the favour to him. Chucked him out, pretty much. But yeah, definitely one of the better races this, to be honest.
Well, you still had an issue, and you still finished second, technically first, because Tom's a reserve, so it's not too bad. But Macho did finish in front of you on track, so you're a bit lucky with the penalties there.
Yeah.
But no, well done for second anyway. It was a decent drive and a decent comeback after your little spin anyway. I mean, most people I saw who were spinning today, they then had an issue the next corner or 2 corners after. I know Charlie did. Chris even had an issue after he spun. He just kept spinning around, so well done to keep the tyres on the track. And Macho, 3rd place. I mean, pretty decent. You finished second on track. You had a big penalty, which I think you might have got away with, actually, because Keke and David Enshu were within the 6-second difference.
Well, yeah.
But they had an issue going into the last sector.
They actually weren't anymore. I was starting the last lap, but yeah, I've had this problem for so long. Like, I'm so penalty prone, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I just pick them up left, right, and center. And I was almost on 12 seconds. But, yeah, well, the pace
You had a
was
good
decent.
start, though. You shot off Jensen off the
Why
start.
the flyer? Holy
Yeah, but then your car... What did your car do? I mean, on my screen, it looked like you were turning, and then it just decided to turn left.
I just slept on the time trial setup. I didn't know what the hell it was, and then coming into the fast right-hander, I just like the rear end just stepped out, and I just had to like well, somehow catch it, and I did, and then back into the pack. Had it like multiple times in the whole race, throughout the whole lap actually. Like I had it almost everywhere, but I managed to keep it on the track and still.
You made a pretty good double overtake actually on Jensen and David Enshu after the first corner. They went slightly wide. No, yeah. I don't know who that is on here.
Met TC.
Met TC, yes. Yeah, because he hadn't changed his tyres. But no, I think you'd done it before as well. You overtook a couple of cars, just braking a bit earlier and then cutting her on the inside while they pushed out nearer the curb. But that was a very good drive in the end. And
I tried my best.
Third place is decent, especially with 9 seconds.
It absolutely is.
And you'll move up a place anyway. Yeah. But no, I think Pelly then takes 3rd place, which is pretty decent from him.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, congratulations to all 3 of you again. Driver of the day from the game I missed.
Well.
For fuck's sake, Paul.
Certain man got... Well, it's always down to like... Who gave
I
you most
recorded it. Oh
positions.
no, don't worry.
It's alright, mate, it should.
Actually, no, I don't know.
Driver of the day from the game was Keke. So, driver of the day from the game, Keke. I kind of have to give it to Pelly. He did very well to stick with some of you guys onto the back. He then ended up finishing 4th.
Ignored.
So, yeah, I'll give it to Pelly this
I got
week.
a Grand Slam in Spain, Tom, and he didn't give it to me either.
I don't always give it to the reserves, but no, I know Tom, you probably deserve.
Mate, you can't have
half
everything.
A point,
like, let something like over us.
But no, I think Chris might be here tomorrow. If not, he'll be here on Sunday for P0. We will be back next week somewhere. You'll find out Monday off Chris for OTO as well. So until then, I'll see you next week, guys.